Which quadrilateral area formula is best in geometry? Imagine trying to find the size of a shape that has four sides. Sometimes it's easy, like with a square or rectangle. Other times, it's trickier, especially with irregular shapes. That's where understanding different formulas for quadrilaterals becomes really helpful. No single formula works for all shapes, so choosing the right one depends on what information you have about the shape. Let's start with the simplest method. If you can draw a diagonal across the shape, you can split the quadrilateral into two triangles. Then, find the area of each triangle and add them together. To do this, you need the length of the diagonal and the heights from the other two points to this diagonal. The formula is half of the diagonal times the sum of those two heights. This method works for any four-sided shape and is very flexible. Another useful approach involves the diagonals and the angle between them. If you know the lengths of the two diagonals and the angle where they cross, you can find the area by multiplying half of each diagonal's length and the sine of the angle between them. This is especially handy for shapes like kites or rhombuses, where the diagonals intersect at a known angle. For shapes with regular forms, there are straightforward formulas. For a square, just square the length of one side. For a rectangle, multiply the length by the width. For a parallelogram, multiply the base by the height. Rhombuses and kites use half the product of their diagonals. Trapezoids are easy too. Add the lengths of the two parallel sides, divide by 2, and multiply by the height. There's also a more advanced formula called Bretschneider's formula. It uses all four sides and to opposite angles to find the area. But it's more complex and less often used in basic geometry because it requires more measurements. In general, the best formula depends on what you know about the shape. If you have the side lengths and heights, dividing into triangles is simple. If you know the diagonals and the angle where they meet, that formula works well. For regular shapes, stick with the simple multiplication formulas. The key is to pick the method that matches the information you have. This way, finding the area of any quadrilateral becomes much easier and clearer.